Welcome, welcome, party people. This is the MB2 Underground podcast. My name is Joe Fox. I'm on the business development team here at MB2, and I'm joined by the always beautiful Miss Sarah Kiefer.
Hello. You look great today, as always, Joe.
Thank you, young lady. Thank you.
I'm really excited about today's episode because the guest we have invited to join us is one of the doctor partners of the last practice we partnered with before COVID shut down the country, Dr. Benjamin Bratcher. Dr. Bratcher, welcome to MB2 Underground.
Thank you for having me.
We're so excited
Wonderful
you're here.
To be here. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. How was navigating a global pandemic and an integration in a week?
Oh, man. The stress level was through the roof. I've used this example multiple times that if there was ever a demonstration of the benefit of being a part of an organization like MB2 or specifically MB2, that was it. They were just tremendous. I mean, between our integration that we did.
Shout out.
That's right. Shout out to Sarah. But I want to give Rob a touch too, because he was tremendous and sat down with every employee, did helped them with all their unemployment stuff, answered all their questions, helped us plan a strategy for. I shouldn't be doing that, should I?
No, you're fine.
You're good.
But he was just remarkable, and it really made it. I mean, as smooth as it could be, considering that we signed on Friday the 13th, no less. 3/13/2020, and on the 16th, the governor of Texas said, "That's it, everybody go home." And it was a little scary, but it would have been a whole lot scarier if we'd have done it on our own. If it had been just us, forget it. I mean, we might still be shut down.
Unreal. So back us up a little bit. You had an experience with group dentistry prior to meeting MB2, correct?
Yes. I've long been a believer in group dentistry. I think the solo practice is fine for some people, but for most of us, being on an island like that, being exposed, not having any support when it comes to the legalities, the economics of running a practice are so difficult for a solo practitioner that I've just been a big believer in group practice. So years ago, the guy that helped us establish our practice introduced me to an organization that's still kind of around. But in the process, we made an investment and lost a lot of money.
Wow.
But I recovered and managed to go back to the same guy, make another investment in a different startup DSO, and lost a lot of money.
Wow.
Again, twice. So
what were the constraints? What were the issues with the group?
They just failed. They just were poorly managed. They didn't have they didn't have good vision. I think everybody involved meant well. It's a tough business. And so one of the things that really attracted us to MB2 is the fact that they were somewhat established at that time, and were able to, demonstrate some sustainability. That they were still going to be here in a year, and we passed on some others at that time that weren't as established. And I do want to give a shout out to the OGs of this group. I'm in awe of, and I could name names, but there's just the guys, the 1 through 50. What an incredible bunch of people.
Absolutely.
The courage it took for them to do what they did, and then to stick it out. I'm sure there were tough times. I'm just impressed with those guys, and they're all still around.
Absolutely,
they're still here, and they talk to me like I'm a real person. It's really amazing.
Exactly.
Like I'm a real person. You said we a couple of times, so tell us a little bit about how you and your partner got into business together.
Right. So I came to Canada in 1993. By 2000, we were busy, very busy, too busy. And I brought in an associate at that time, Dr. Glenn Stern, who's been a wonderful, and he became a partner just a little over a year after that. And we've just had a great partnership 20-something years now.
Wow.
Do you think it's because y'all are both so tall?
Maybe.
Like you can see past all the BS.
He's taller than me, which is actually kind of intimidating sometimes,
Imagine being me and Rob when we first met them. They're like both over 6'4", right?
No. I'm like 6'2".
Okay, well, he makes you look taller for what it's worth. But it's like Rob and I think, max out at 5'6", and we're like, hey, guys. I think the first thing I said to them was, wow, y'all are big boys, which is like not the most professional thing to say, but
we don't mind hearing it.
So you had a background in group dentistry. You had some bad experiences. You met MB2 at a Discovery Day, right? In November of 2019?
Roughly there, yeah. I don't really remember. I remember coming to the building.
Tell us about that. Tell us about that day.
Well, it was great. It was, first off, I was so impressed. We got here early. There was nobody in the lobby, but we sat and we're looking around and going, this is kind of intimidating. But when they showed us around, it was just super impressive how many people they had supporting their offices out there. And then just some of the decor and the fun stuff that was around. You could tell there's a confident culture in MB2. And that, to me, I'm huge on culture. I think culture is one of the most important things in any organization. And I know you could tell it was here. But on the other side, they were very, very, and this was back, Dr. V was still pretty involved with the business development. And Justin Puckett was there. There were a lot of people, a lot of the guys who are really, really busy now doing other things were there, but they were patient with me. And I kept telling them, I'm sorry, guys. I know I got a million questions, but I've just been burned so many times. And I need to ruminate on this a little bit. And we did, and they were very patient with us. And anyway, but it was so impressive, the everything that was there, that literally at the end, we were thinking maybe we needed to run around the back of the building and make sure all that stuff was still there when we came back.
You didn't see people carrying computers
I thought it was all just for us. They set up this whole elaborate thing just to get us in there.
People are at their desks. Hello, Dr. Bratcher.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, exactly. So it was a big day, but it was a great day, and one really a pivotal moment in my wife and I's life, at that point.
What's it like coming in now where in 2019 we were just at our Lacey building? We've now expanded twice.
Yeah, I know.
How does it compare?
It's still very impressive, maybe more so. It's fun to, again, I enjoy coming here. Like I said earlier, it's a bit of an ego boost for me because everybody's so friendly, and whether they really know who I am or not, they say hi.
Oh, we all know.
And so it's been really nice visiting, and again just to experience the culture. I hope anybody who's considering MB2 you got to get down here and
check it out
you firsthand. See it. Yeah, you can't believe it, and nobody believes me until you tell them. And we were going to go visit a different DSO before we signed, and we were on our way there, and there was a big storm, and so it delayed us. And in the meantime, my partner, Dr. Stern, was on his phone, kind of looking them up, and he goes, "Man, I'm not sure I believe this." And they had like 16 offices, and the office we were going to go to, they had literally just shut it down because of the storm, and there was like 7 people there, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't going to work," I couldn't stomach that. And so we turned around and went home. We never even went.
Wow. And at the time, MB2 had about, 200 practices or so?
They were –
We probably hadn't even gotten to 200.
No, you weren't quite to 200 yet, because I remember I was disappointed. We were shooting to be 200.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And we didn't quite make it. And that's
ended up at 213?
213, yeah.
Lucky number.
213. He got a party and all this stuff.
Oh, yeah, because that was that January. You closed in March.
Wow. Yeah.
You talked a lot about culture and, relating to the culture we had here. You've done a lot. You and Dr. Stern have built a really cool culture in Canton. I know y'all do your annual trip together. Tell us a little bit about how you've focused on that and grown that over the years.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was very, very fortunate that the guy I bought my practice from originally was just a super nice guy. Very friendly, very outgoing. Not much of a party guy, but he let the team have fun, and we just built on that, and really fortunate. And I told him, I said, have my permission to have fun in this office. It's okay to laugh. Yeah. You came in, there were some older people there. Maybe they didn't appreciate it as much, but I did. And that just makes a big difference. Yeah. And, you can pay people more, but in my experience, most people respond best to a good, comfortable, fun workplace, someplace they can go and feel good about going and do good work. That's the other big thing. If you're confident in your treatment, the team appreciates that. Yeah, they like to. So, but having fun, going on trips, training though, every month we do a short little training thing. We try to do something fun there. And when we had the eclipse, we were outside just like all the MB2 folks were. We bought glasses for everybody. We had food, chairs that leaned back. It was a good
went
time.
All out.
Yeah, it was fun. And that's what makes it, fixing teeth is not fun. But being around people, you don't go to our office and walk past an empty box. Yeah. Somebody's going to jump out of there and scare the water out of you.
Oh, yeah.
How's that? Was that a good way of saying that? As opposed to
yes. Beautiful censorship. Thank you.
So what was it
in case
about?
Anybody's wondering, I've been told not to curse.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Oh, we have a cursor in the room.
I don't know why you're looking at me.
I will not name any names.
I think good.
So what was it about Dr. V and Justin Puckett at the Discovery Day? What was the final thing that gave you the comfort that, hey, these guys are going to do what they say they're going to do?
I actually thought about that the other day, and I don't know why. It was maybe it was in one of my conversations with one of the other owner docs, and Puckett and Jackson, these guys are so impressive. They're just brilliant guys, and they're very personable, which isn't always the case with smart people. Sometimes smart people aren't fun to be around, but they are. But really, what got me was Dr. V came in the room at one point, and we'd kind of been going back and forth. We weren't really negotiating, but I was trying to work through my fears.
PTSD, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Dr. V came in, sat down, we talked for a few minutes, and he says, listen, guys, and he kind of gave me a bit of a spiel about what the company's worth, what he's worth. And he goes, we don't need you here. We want you here. Yeah. And that's it. I'm in.
Wow.
That and the swag.
Yeah.
I heard you came packing. You got your swag on.
I got my swag on me, my MB2. Yeah, my MB2.
He said this is the same chapstick that won me over.
Well, it's
all those
not
years ago.
Exactly because the other one had the
old
logo on it. So this is the new stuff, but it's still cherry flavored.
Branded pack. So, yeah. Good job, brand marketing team.
Absolutely.
Excellent
also,
work.
Cherry flavor. That's like the medicine that I got as a kid. I still can't eat or drink anything cherry flavored. Yeah. Oh. You don't have that like PTSD taste from childhood where you're like, that tastes like cough medicine?
Tequila.
That's what I got whenever I had a sore
throat. Still have problems with tequila. Does that count?
You and me both, my guy.
So you've seen the industry change quite a bit, right? What are you seeing right now, or what are you hearing from your colleagues, right? I know you're involved in organizations and you're talking to fellow dentists.
I've been involved with the Academy of General Dentistry and specifically the Texas Academy of General Dentistry for a long time, and in the leadership and different ways. But it's changing, and some of it for someone like me is a little disheartening because we're seeing what we thought was this solid profession that was built around a model that we all kind of knew and understood. You have a doctor in his little office in the strip center, and they're just kind of doing their shouldn't do that probably, but
that's okay.
Anyway, they it's changed, and I knew it was coming because I used to say to my team, the solution to organized dentistry to stay away from being one of the big chain places was to cooperate and collaborate with other doctors, and I knew that to be true. And then later, though, it became evident that the way the demographics were changing, a number of males versus females, the ages of people getting into the school,
the patriarchy and such.
Patriarchy, exactly. A lot of this had changed. I mean, it was different, and they're all coming out broke.
Yep.
Everybody's broke, and so when MB2 the model came in, I was like, well, this is great. This is better. It's different, but it's better. And I just had to kind of wrap my brain around it a little bit. Yep. And once I did, realized this could be the solution. And so my pitch now to the young dentists is, why go out there and strap yourself with another $500,000 in debt when you can have a partner who knows what they're doing, and it's, you can still have what you dreamed about, what your dad was doing or what your friend's dad was doing, whoever got you into dentistry in the first place.
Or mom.
Yeah, well, back in the old days, it was all dads.
Oh, okay.
But now it's moms.
Patriarchy.
Yeah, patriarchy, exactly.
We need to get some female dentists on here.
We should. Yeah. But,
how did you get introduced to MB2? You're talking about like learning about the model and how it was different. How'd you come upon MB2?
We have a friend. It was a consultant that we worked with for, 20-something years. She used to come to our office. Her and her team came to our office. We did retreats together. We did some in-office training together. We just had this relationship for years and years and years. And I think she saw that we were kind of getting to a turning point in our career. I was getting old enough that I needed to start thinking about an end game. I wasn't ready to quit. Dr. Stern, my partner, is a little younger. He, didn't really want to be the man. And I might be putting words in his mouth. We got to get him on here too. But, the idea of running it all by himself, I don't think was all that appealing. So when we got to talking about it, this seemed like to partner with somebody seemed like a good option. And after, again, looking at several options, and he's our money man. So Dr. Stern's the one who can take a spreadsheet and just dissect it, and did a beautiful job of it and really helped me a lot. But I think when he met Jackson, he was in love.
They nerded out.
Yeah, big time.
Well, and you guys have a really big practice. Like it probably was a challenge to try to figure out how to maximize your equity whenever the time came.
Yeah, there was really, we talked to several potential associates over the years. And they would all say the same, I'd love to be a partner someday. But no, nobody could afford it. We were kind of a victim of our own success.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
great problem to have, but it's an issue. Right?
Yeah, sure. And so to be able to not only maximize our equity at the original sale, but then to be able to be a part of the other investment opportunities that MB2 gives us has been the biggest blessing in my life, because like I said, I've invested in some real stinkers over the years. And,
some real stinkers.
Yeah. Well, that's another way of putting it. I can name names if you like.
Not to throw anybody under the bus.
No.
So you got a special treat for yourself after the first recap in 2021 you participated in. What was that? Tell us about that.
It's called, I'm going to do some free advertising for these people. It's called a Street Strider. And it's
a Street Strider?
Street Strider. And it's an elliptical bike. It's got little gears and you.
Does it actually move?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's not like a piece of
30 miles an hour or something.
Whoa,
fast, yeah. And it's not easy. It's hard work. It's a good workout, and it's got a low impact. I was a runner for years and years and years. And then I first hurt my foot and my knee and my back, and I realized that 200-plus pound people aren't supposed to run marathons.
Right.
So I stopped doing that.
I don't think anyone's supposed to run marathons.
Well, maybe not.
Outside of Connor Weaver.
Right.
Skinny little Kenyan guys that do it. But, and so anyway, I bought one of those. It was a lot of fun. I'm still enjoying it. I mean, I love it. I had to go get it from the bike shop this morning.
Nice.
I'm apparently not smart enough to change the
tune
tire.
They got people for that.
Things. Yeah, I guess so.
Experts. Leverage the experts.
Street Strider wheel experts.
So absolutely.
So what is going to be your next treat after this next treat?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. It'll be something. I'm just way too frugal to go out and buy like a airplane or something. I'll probably,
not a car, a plane.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, I mean, or a car for that matter. I mean, it's not my nature. So it'll be something frivolous but small.
Awesome. Well, I've got to ask you this. I've spent a decent amount of time in East Texas in my life, but what is the best or most interesting item you've ever seen at Canton Trade Days?
Oh, golly. Well, I mean, for me personally, we bought a goat for my father-in-law.
Excuse me?
Did
you say a goat?
Whoa, sister. Have you not been to Canton Trade Days?
I have, but I was like,
How come you didn't see the goats?
Yeah, you got to go down to
Am I the crazy one here?
They call it down Dog Alley. It's kind of a separate area.
Down Dog Alley.
That's what happened. I missed the goat section.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we would literally take the girls down there.
Wait, I'm sorry. Why do you need a goat?
Well, to give to my father-in-law for a pet.
Pet goat.
Pet goat.
Things are different now in East Texas, huh?
It was supposed to be a miniature. Ended up being a Spanish. Now, if you know anything about goats,
right?
Spanish goats are huge, like a horse. And this thing got big.
Wow.
And but because we got it such a baby, bottle feeding it, all that, it was super tame. Followed him everywhere. Rode in the truck with him. He loved that goat till the day he died.
Goats scare off coyotes, and goats clear brush.
I feel like I'm in a parallel universe where we're
The
talking
goats
about
are the
goats as pets.
But I see all sorts of things down there, golly. I bought most of the furniture in our office came from the flea market. Just, anything we could get.
Okay, small town dental practice.
So small town dental practice, yeah. Social clubs, Lions Club, Rotary Club, school events, just being at the ball games. Everybody knows. I mean, they see you walking through there. And even if you don't have a kid in the game, you go to the basketball games, you go to the football games. You go to your, your churches or wherever your religious preference is, and just be out there and just be seen. Yeah. And people know, they'll know who you are, really at a point to your detriment. It's like after a while, you're like, really love to go to Walmart
and not get accosted.
But I don't have 2 hours to do it. I just need to get in there and get out and put a hat on and zip in the side door where they do the auto stuff.
Don't want to do any consults in the middle of Walmart, right?
I've done plenty.
I bet you have.
In line, yeah. You see your patient, I gotta talk to you.
You're running away.
Oh no, that's right.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
That's right.
Did you have any concerns about taking on a partner and how that would impact the small town feel of your practice or getting out in the community, anything like that?
I think that's a valid concern. Oh, you mean like with MB2? You mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay. No, not really. I think. If we hadn't handled it as well as we did, and this is another shout out to you guys because you told us how to do it when we went through the integration part, and so I never really was all that worried. We addressed it with the team in a very positive way. They were happy to be a part of it. They were happy for us because they knew this was a big step in my life in particular, and in the community, I don't know, most of them still don't know.
Yeah.
And if they want to know, I'm very proud of my relationship with MB2. I'll help anybody that asks. But I'm not walking into every room and going, hey, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. There's no reason to, right?
No. Yeah. One of our local guys, a town nearby, he put something in the paper to the effect that he was the only locally owned practice in the area anymore.
Small town beef.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody ever really got it. People are people. They just want their teeth fixed.
Yeah. I like how you talked about your relationship with MB2. We're not the girl that's on your arm, but we're also not a Idaho. I'll talk about you. You're not the side piece.
There's that potty mouth again.
Can I not say ho?
Oh, you can say whatever you want.
Okay.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when I talk to my colleagues, my dental friends, I'm wearing the hat and I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, and
put on the chapstick.
Absolutely, right there in front of all of them. The average patient, they don't care. Yeah. Frankly, most of them don't care as much as we think they do about us. My partner that I bought the practice from, and I still call him my partner, even though he's not even practicing anymore. That his biggest surprise was how easily people moved over. Mm-hmm. And he meant that as a compliment to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I see it as just human nature,
Yeah.
We have some wonderful patients, but when, if their insurance changes, they'll change. And, or if we're not there when we need them, they'll go somewhere else. And, just like we would, if you need a gas and your gas station that you always go to is closed, you go to the next one. So I don't mean to minimize it too much, but but mostly in a small town, you just got to keep your face out there. And it's an interesting town because even though it grows at about 2 to 3% a year, it's not a huge growth area. We're still bringing in 80 to 100 new patients a month.
That's wild.
Unreal.
So we must be doing something right.
Absolutely.
The word's out, and we get a lot of word of mouth. referrals, which is really what you want.
That's how you know you're doing it right.
Yeah,
100%. Well, I'm sure that transition had a whole lot to do with you and your skill set, your personality, and your principles.
Yeah. Well, you just like I said, if you're going to do something, go all out, man. Make it, own it. Make it yours. It was mine. It was our decision. Dr. Stern and I made the decision, and we were going to live with it and go with it. But it was easy. It was easy because we were so confident in who we had behind us.
Mm-hmm.
And
so, a fun question we like to ask to sort of wrap up these discussions is: what is your favorite or craziest patient story in your entire career?
I hope you do crazy.
This is going to get a little racy, I'm afraid.
Yeah, let's go.
Race is good.
I got a couple of them, but the number one that just pops to my mind from crazy standpoint is walking in the room, and there's a lady in there, and she's very outgoing, talks real loud, dresses fancy, boisterous, yeah. And but she's 10 years older than me. I mean, she's up there a little bit, and there's something on the floor beside her. It looks to me like a piece of trash or something that maybe we had left down there, and I picked it up, and it's about this big around and circular, and it's a little sticky on one side. And
I think I have regrets.
Keep on going. Don't stop.
I give it to her. I said, who's this? She goes, oh, that's mine. Here, and gives it back to me. And I did what I was going to do, and I left the room, and I can hear them, and they're just wailing, laughing. Her and the girls are just rolling in the floor, laughing so hard that I had apparently picked up this lady's pasty. We always call them dimmers.
I love it.
It had fallen out of her top. You probably can't put this on there anyway. But,
oh no, we definitely could.
Yeah. So she okay, and then okay.
So every time I saw her after that, it was.
Don't make eye
she's
contact.
like, yeah. She's like, hey, you want to take any more of my clothes? I'm like, no, I don't want to touch any of it. I didn't want it in the first place,
I love it.
And another one that was more of a charity case, and this one wasn't all that funny, but it was very, very awkward because she had fallen apparently the day before and bruised her back of her leg. Mm-hmm. And she was in there as a charity case. We were doing some pro bono work on her through one of the local churches, and they were bringing her every day. She goes, oh, I fell down yesterday. I hurt myself really bad. You want to see? I'm like, well, I'm sure. And she just drops her trousers and our rooms are open. There's no closed door or anything. And next thing I know, I'm looking at a half moon.
Oh my God.
With a big blue spot on it.
In her defense, she asked if you wanted to see it.
She did.
Not to blame the victim, but
you
were asking for
it.
Sure.
You are a doctor.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, those were good.
Yeah, those are the fun ones that stick to my mind.
Awesome. Well, it's been awesome. It's been awesome having you here. It's been great seeing you again. Thank you for coming out. Anything you want to add before we sign us off?
I don't know that I have much. I just can't imagine a doc out there who's maybe you're getting towards if you're within 10 years of retiring. I think you ought to give us a look, because it's just going to make your that time so much better, so much easier, so much more rewarding. But I can also say this: it's not for everybody. Mm-hmm. You got to be the right person, and
absolutely.
If you don't enjoy people, and I'm not saying that in negative. Some people don't. There's introverts out there. They don't want to have to do it.
Yeah.
If you don't enjoy having a positive culture being around, then there's other people out there too.
If you're a stick in the mud, there's someone for you.
Yeah, somebody.
Not us.
Yeah, not here. That's right. That's
awesome.
right. That's what I got.
Well, thank you, Dr. Bratcher. We really appreciate taking
so.
the time to come down to the big city and hang out for a little
while.
while.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's like coming to. It's all this traffic, and cars, and and my horse just didn't handle that near as well as it used to.
Well, you're street striding.
I should have gone street striding the whole way.
Taken?
That's right.
Okay. Well, to all of our many listeners out there, thanks for hanging out with us today. We will see you next time on MB2 Underground.
MB2 out.